want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. What does the Bible say about the drafting of the Ultra Orthodox Jewish men? Are they to be set aside for learning, teaching, leading in worship? Now, it's a great question, a little bit complex because today we would call it Ultra Orthodox. In biblical times, particularly the Old Testament, we refer to it simply as the Levitical priest. Now, let's talk about today. When you look at the Jewish expression of faith today, you have Jews that would be considered conservatives, those that would be considered Orthodox, those that would be considered Reformed, etc. The Ultra Orthodox, oftentimes they're referred to as the Hasidic. If you see pictures or videos, particularly over in Israel or maybe in areas such as New York where there's a high concentration of Jewish individuals, they often wear a completely black suit with a black hat. They have the ringlets of their hair. That's usually a good idea that you're dealing with a Hasidic or an Ultra-Orthodox Jew. And per the question, in today's modern Jewish world, they are not drafted. They do not serve in the military. That is required by every man for 3 years, every woman for 2. And they do not and are not subject to paying of taxes. So you can imagine not only is there the faithfulness to the scriptures and the studying, which is what they actually do, but there's a lot of tension socially, culturally, etc. Now, let's go back to what does the Bible say? Well, there are really two what we might call rules, parameters for military service in the Old Testament Israel. Number one, you were not to be enlisted in or to serve in the military until age 20. That's what Numbers chapter 14 speaks of, that a young man had to be 20 years of age before he served and he fought in a battle. That is why, if you go back all the way to 1 Samuel 17, remember David, who's the youngest of his brothers, takes Jesus, I just love the Bible saying that, to his older brothers in the famous Goliath battle. He was under age 20 because he was not eligible for military service. Secondly, if you were a Levitical priest, yes, sacrifices, worship, you were set aside for that, so you did not participate in the military. So if you want to translate to today's world, the ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Jews are somewhat of the Levitical priests. However, there is no sacrificial system, there is no temple, so there's a distinct difference. What's interesting is you don't see any real pushback in the Old Testament against the Levitical priests, who, by the way, didn't pay taxes because everything was a gift to them. They had land that was donated to them, and they didn't serve in the military because they served such a valuable function of interceding on behalf of the people to God. The Ultra-Orthodox today don't intercede on behalf of anybody. In fact, I would argue they're very self-consumed and self-proclamative about who they are. Great question. If you have one, send to AskJeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow's. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.